Today on MHK All Day, we'll see what 2 K-State students do in order to take care of their mental health. Then we'll explore how Lynx scooters are being used around the Manhattan community. And later, a K-State football player who is receiving national recognition. All this and more, this is MHK All Day. Welcome back to this edition of MHK All Day. I'm Jacob Hall. On today's show, we'll learn how to make a self-care kit to help you tackle stress. Plus, can you get in trouble for misusing the Lynx scooters? And later, a peek at how the K-State men's basketball team is kicking off their season. But first, a look at our news in 90 seconds.
Good morning and welcome back to News in 90. To get us started this week, we have A1 Trash leaving its customers with no option but to switch trash providers. And over the last few months, residents from around the community have posted over 100 comments on You Know You Are From Manhattan If Facebook page, complaining about their trash buildup. City Manager Ron Fear said that there is no regulatory control over when or how often waste is picked up in Manhattan because the trash companies are private and do not fall under the city's purview. The Flint Hills Area Transportation Agency announced last week that starting on November 19th, the ATA buses will run a new district loop that connects Aggieville, downtown, and Blue Earth Plaza to provide residents and visitors with the option to visit some of their favorite destinations without the stress or hassle of finding a parking spot. To conclude this week on News in 90, the National Bio and Agro Defense Facility will be delayed till December 2022. Originally, it was planned to wrap up in the spring of 2022, with the facility being fully commissioned by December. INBAF Communications Director Katie Pawlowski said that after delays in 2020, officials began exploring the implementation of technology upgrades prior to opening the facility, rather than after it's already open. That's all we have for this week on News in 90, and thanks for listening. Back to you, Jacob.
Thanks, Dawson. The electric scooters called Lynx scooters have now been around Manhattan for over a year. And if you were on social media, you probably have seen one of the many videos of them being used and abused. But can you get in any real trouble for misusing the scooters? MHK All Day reporter Dawson Wagner has more.
You've probably heard that sound if you've been on the streets of Manhattan recently. Lynx scooters, the convenient, eco-friendly ride-sharing option that made its debut in August of 2020, has sure received a lot of attention. And like everything else that receives a lot of attention, there's always someone out there to misuse it. Whether it be riding off of a roof, through Cardwell Hall on campus, not once, but twice, getting on top of the wreck, and yeah, you get the point. But when the video turns off and the scooter is left behind, who's the one to pick up the remains? And how do they fix them? Well, that's where Chris Garner, Lynx scooter technician, and Ollie Childs, Lynx scooter wrangler, come into play.
I'm about to hit my 2,000 mark on repairs. We've seen everything from small little repairs to large repairs.
Earlier, there's been multiple excursions through the woods. There's been multiple times where we've had to go up to people's houses or dorm rooms even and knock on the door. You know, be like, hey, you guys have our scooters, we need them back.
But with Lynk having over 500 scooters they have to track, how do they narrow down exactly which dorm room a scooter could be located in? GPS tracking. Super Pedestrian, the parent company of Lynk, has developed a complex vehicle intelligence system over the last 12 years that allows Chris to actively monitor every scooter's speed, distance traveled, and what kind of shape the scooter is in.
All of our scooters, have the rules of the road listed on them. In the app, it tells you, please wear a helmet. We do as much as we can, but ultimately it's up to the rider if they decide to use a helmet or ride irresponsibly.
So ultimately, it is up to us to make the decision about how to ride responsibly. But what would happen if you do get stopped by a police officer while doing something reckless on the scooters?
If we do see somebody, with multiple riders or violating some sort of ordinance, we'll pull them over, but most likely we're gonna try to educate you on what you're doing wrong rather than just ticket you and try to punish you for doing that, because the rules aren't widely known, and it is still something that's new to the community. So we wanna educate people rather than punish them.
In Manhattan, I'm Dawson Wagner for MHK All Day.
To find out more about where you can find the scooters on campus and within the community, you can visit the link below. Now we go to reporter Kate Kennedy, who went back on campus to get a feel for how the Link scooters are being used in the K-State community on this week's segment of The Pulse.
We're in Bosco Plaza today to ask students their thoughts on the Link scooters in Manhattan and find out how local residents are using them.
I only used it once, honestly, to say that I use them, just to get to experience the Link scooters. Honestly, I get kind of embarrassed to ride one. I just feel like a noob if I drive it around campus.
Either going to the football games or sporting events, or if I feel lazy to walk from class to class, I'll just hop on a Link scooter.
I think people who use them to get across places on campus, very beneficial.
They have a class that ends and they have to get over there, just pick up a Link scooter and head over there real quick.
They have helped me in some tough situations where there is no ability to get around, and I love them for that. But I have seen some wild things with them.
I have not. I mean, I've seen videos on Instagram, but I have not personally witnessed people acting stupid on them for that.
I have some experience of some people putting them inside of people's bedrooms. So there was 3 Link scooters in one bedroom. That is the one misuse that I have seen of the Link scooters, yes.
And I remember seeing not only 1, not 2, but 3 sewers in a row in which the Link scooters were just in there. I don't know how that happened, if somebody just was drunk and they put them in there, if Pennywise was using them and tried to put them out. I don't know, but
if you want to abuse them, then you shouldn't be on them.
If we keep having to fund the scooter, eventually we're going to not fund the scooter and not have any more Link scooters.
I think it's a bad look on people that are doing that, and I think that the Link scooters are here to benefit us, and I think that if you want to abuse them, then you shouldn't be on them.
With the Link scooters being used in a variety of ways, it's safe to say that residents are benefiting from their presence all across the community. For MHK All Day, I'm Kate Kennedy.
Thanks, Kate. After the break, we'll see how some students are taking care of their mental health. And later, host Zach Perez gets classical with this week's installment of The Garage. That and more coming up.
I went on my campus tour. They had the Baja racing teams, all the parts and everything on display, and I was that's super cool. My first year we made robots, made a line following robot, assembled it and coded it. My current major is biomedical engineering. It's a jack of all trades, since you take coding from computer science and then some stuff from electrical. It's kind of just a mix of all the main departments of college engineering, and this is the spot for me.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is, with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way, and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm oh, these people love football. These people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgating. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, it was just a place that I knew I had to be.
Well, Welcome back to MHK All Day. Poor mental health is one issue that many students can face during their time in college. Reporter Parker McGowan spoke with a few students about how they handle their mental strain.
At this time of semester, finals are coming up. With increased stress, students are just eager to get through Thanksgiving break. I decided to go around campus today and talk to a few students about their mental health stressors.
Go from 1 to 10, I'd say it's like out of 5 or 6, if I'm being honest.
8 out of 10 good, just a little stressful with the, finals coming up.
Despite these feelings of stress, each student finds a way to cope with the pressure of finals just around the corner.
Time, like people say they want to go out or just go get some lunch or something, I try to do that just so I can give myself a break.
Yeah, I usually go to the gym or watch a TV show, something that takes my mind off of the stressful workload or whatever it is.
According to the National Council for Mental Well-Being, 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental illness each year. 1 in 6 U.S. youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder each year. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14 and 75% age 24.
Society-wise, like sometimes we kind of put it on the back burner, but I feel like it's very important to just have these conversations and to actually take the time to work on your mental health, because eventually, like, if you don't work on it, it can really affect you in multiple ways in your life. So
In Manhattan, I'm Parker McGowan for MHK All Day.
On the show that inspires, aspires, and speaks with fire, Bernie teaches us how to make a self-care kit in our segment, Bernie Say What?
Bernie Say What? Good morning, Kansas. So today I want to show y'all how to make a self-care basket using household items. So first, as you can see, I got a lot of things on the table. We're going to start with one of the first things that you want to do when you want to take care of yourself is take a shower or a bath. So right now I have some body wash from Bath & Body Works. Can't go wrong with the vanilla, okay? And then if you're a man, because y'all not excluded, y'all need self-care too, you might want to try Irish cream, a little applewood spice or apple spice, whatever y'all like to use. And then the scrub. You need the scrub, okay? You can get this from your local Walmart or any other store that's similar to Walmart, honestly. This scrub does what it needs to do every time, okay? So that's what you need for that. And then don't forget, you need something to scrub the scrub in. You know, when you out there taking care of all them worries, you want to scrub just like that, get it all off in a way. And then my personal favorite is this little bath soak, okay? Because when you just want to relieve, you want to smell something nice, you want to just relax. And this one got a nice little flavor to it, okay? It's nice and sweet. It's one of my favorites, okay? And it got the scrub on the side. We like that. We like that. Okay. Then, after you get out the tub and you got it all together, you want to make sure you got the oil going, okay? Because the oil, you want to moisturize the body. Especially with it being cold outside, you don't want to be ashy. You want to look nice, okay? And then the AirPods, because you need to block out everything. Listen to that music, that relaxing so-and-so to get you right, okay? And then I got a lighter and a candle. This one is mahogany, okay? Boom, this one's nice and it smells really nice. And then you just light that candle and you already feeling the relaxed sensation. And last but not least, you got the candy, okay? And I got this candy too, because this candy is special to me because it got me and my boyfriend on it. But you know, you need the candy, the sweets to help you get through life. And yeah. So that's what you need to make a complete self-care kit, okay? And then remember, self-care is the best care, okay? So stay tuned because up next, we'll see which K-State football player is leading the nation in sacks.
So within industrial engineering, you can actually start your master's degree a year early and start taking those classes your senior year. And then after you go through those upper level courses, you only really have a year left and you would come out with your bachelor's and master's degree, which is something I have been considering just because, you know, it's one extra year and I do love K-State. So it's like, you know, win-win. But that's a perk with being an industrial engineer. You're able to get your master's degree in just one extra year.
I went on my campus tour. They had like the Baja like racing teams, all the like parts and everything on display, and I was like, that's super cool. My first year, we made robots, made a line following robot, assembled it and coded it. My current major is biomedical engineering. It's like a jack of all trades since you take coding from computer science and then some stuff from electrical. It's kind of just like a mix of like all the like main departments of college engineering, and this is the spot for me.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is, with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way, and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm like, oh, these people love football. Like, these people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, I mean, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgating. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm like, this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, I mean, it was just a place I knew I had to be.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. Tomorrow, the K-State Wildcats will be back in action as they host West Virginia. After earning a victory last week in the Sunflower Showdown, the Cats will look to improve their 3-game win streak. The Mountaineers have had the upper hand over the Cats in the last 5 meetings, but Coach Chris Kleiman says that he tries not to put too much emphasis into streaks.
I try not to do that no matter what the game is, whether you've won a bunch of them in a row or not won. I've just never been a fan of that, even to last week when we had won a bunch in a row against KU. It's more of it's the 2021 team against their 2021 team, and it's different people in different spots, and the dynamic of each team is a little bit different.
On homecoming against TCU, one K-State player had the type of game that gets talked about for years to come. However, his journey to get to K-State wasn't an easy one, and he was often overlooked as a high school prospect. Now, he leads the nation in 11 sacks.
Felix Anudike-Uzomah has been a consistent presence along the K-State defensive line all season. With his continued success, he says that he is thankful for his teammates and the opportunity to play Division I football.
Credit to the back end, honestly. If they didn't lock up all those receivers and do all those coverages right, I would not be having the sacks I have right now. At the end of the day, blessed to be playing Division I football.
One thing that was instilled in him by his mom was humility, and he strives to translate those lessons learned into his everyday life.
Growing up in high school, I was not that type of guy. Everybody slept on me. I seen people that were in high school, they were just so cocky and stuff. My mom said every time I get a big play or anytime I'm doing something good, just stay humble. My mom preached that because every time you're humble, good things can come to you.
Coach Chris Kleiman says that when players have the type of performances that Anudike-Uzomah did on homecoming against TCU, it motivates the entire team.
They were excited for Felix. He brought a lot of energy with each sack that he was getting. You could tell everybody knew the kind of game he was having.
Yeah, he's a baller. I've never played with somebody like that on the D-line. It's something that even back in high school, Pop Warner, you wouldn't really see a guy doing that. Be able to do it at this level, it's special.
One of the players on the team that has connected with Anudike-Uzomah is sophomore running back Deuce Vaughn, who says that they both have had similar journeys in getting to K-State.
His story to get here, and he's somebody that I connected to pretty early on whenever I got here, just because of the way that we got here and the things that we've had to endure throughout recruiting, and then having to put on weight, working to try and better ourselves every single day. And I'm proud of him. To see him have this success is not surprising at all.
One thing Anudike-Uzomah has become known for is his unique celebration after big plays.
It's called the gorilla dance. I did in high school, so all my friends were telling me to go to college and do all that stuff, so my teammates liked it, and credit to all my high school teammates.
For Anudike-Uzomah, he knows that his current play could lead to an eventual professional future. However, he is focused on living in the moment.
I'm just focused on one day at a time. Honestly, I'm still a sophomore. I can worry about that probably next year or so, but at the same time, I'm just tacking on each day by day.
With 3 games left to go plus a bowl game, Anudike-Uzomah will look to continue to cement his name in the record books during his breakout sophomore season. And tonight at 7 p.m., the K-State women's basketball team will take the floor against UT Martin in Bramlage Coliseum, kicking off the preseason Women's National Invitational Tournament. This week, the team beat Central Arkansas by 63 points. Junior center and Wooden Award watch list nominee Ayoka Lee outscored the Bears by herself, scoring 43 points. This is a new single-game program record.
I think it's an honor. I think it just goes to show just like the program and like our commitment to like playing good basketball and playing together and sticking to the game plan. And yeah, I'll just say it's an honor.
On Wednesday night, the men's basketball team earned their first win of the season against Florida A&M, 67-57. The win marked the 104th time in the Bruce Weber era holding the opponent to under 60 points. The team was led in scoring by sophomore guard Nigel Pack, who is returning to form after sustaining a preseason hip injury.
I'm just still trying to get better day by day. I mean, I do a lot of stuff with the trainer. Me and the trainer basically became best friends. I mean, day in, day out, we're trying to get better, trying to find something to help it. But as of right now, I mean, feel pretty good to be out there on the court at least. So I'm just blessed to say that.
Elsewhere, although the K-State baseball team doesn't begin their season until February, the team is pitching in to make a difference. On Saturday, the Batcats held their Shave for the Brave event, benefiting the College Baseball vs. Cancer fundraising campaign. And finally, the Keisha High School football playoffs are in full swing. The Manhattan High School football team will be in action tonight hosting Topeka High. Kickoff will begin at 7 p.m. And that's all we have for sports this week, but don't go anywhere. Up next, host Zach Perez gets classical with this week's installment of The Garage. That's coming up right after this.
I went on my campus tour. They had like the Baja like racing teams, all the like parts and everything on display, and I was like, that's super cool. My first year, we made robots, made a line following robot, assembled it and coded it. My current major is biomedical engineering. It's like a jack of all trades since you take coding from computer science and then some stuff from electrical. It's kind of just like a mix of like all the like main departments of college engineering, and this is the spot for me.
Kansas State's athletic program does not like to postpone until tomorrow what can be accomplished today.
It's going to be tied into Bramlage with some upgrades to Bramlage in terms of the Legends Room. Is now going to be 7 times bigger than it currently is, with new entrances on the east and west side. So that facility, the South End Zone project, is going to touch both Bramlage in a very positive way, and obviously finish off the stadium look and feel.
Upon arrival, I'm like, oh, these people love football. Like, these people are nuts about Kansas State. And Saturday morning, I mean, swarms of people outside of the stadium tailgating. We come in, it's about 45 minutes before game time. The stadium's packed. And I'm like, this is the atmosphere. Whenever I dream of playing college football, this is exactly what I see. The chants, the music, everything. And just throughout the entire game, I mean, it was just a place I knew I had to be.
Welcome back to MHK All Day. It's time for us to trade in alt rock for opera singing. This week on The Garage, host Zach Perez sat down with one K-State student whose recent ventures culminated in the release of a full-length album of classical music.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of The Garage. This week I have got a student guest with me. This is Colby Van Camp. Colby, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So Colby, the original reason that I had asked you to be on this episode of The Garage was specifically because of something that you had told me while we had a class together, and it was that you had recently worked on an album of classical music that had just been out. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's just a project that I've kind of had in my mind for some time, and I decided that I was just going to go for it. And I'm a classically trained opera singer, and part of what I do, because I want to get into graduate school sometime in the future, is research. And so part of the way that I was able to fund the album was to do research through the university, and they gave me a grant to do that. And then I did some private funding within some family and friends, sent out some letters, just the a blast, I guess.
Yeah.
Picked up some money, and then thanks to an excellent sound engineer here in Manhattan, I was able to put that together. Myself and my collaborative pianists got together and just recorded some music that was important to me. So yeah.
All right. And you say important to you. Is there any specific pieces that you recorded that, you know, kind of meant anything, or anything that was specifically special to you?
Yeah, so I'm actually, among other things, I'm also a composer. So a couple of the pieces are pieces that I wrote. And then I had another piece, part of what I do at the university for fun, because it's something that not a lot of people are doing right now, is I commission new music. And so I actually, a buddy of mine at the University of South Carolina, I commissioned him to write me a song cycle. And it worked out really well because I sang it, he wrote the music, and my fiance actually wrote the text because she has a master's in fine arts and poetry. And so it was kind of like this really neat collaboration, and I got to make the world premiere recording of that. So.
Switching gears just a little bit, this is kind of taking a pretty big step back, at least in terms of timeline-wise, but obviously you seem very passionate about all the stuff that you've worked on, especially this album. What kind of inspired you to pursue, for one, opera singing and just music in general, I suppose?
Yeah, I've always had an aptitude for music. I've always felt passionate about singing. It started with piano. I'm a pianist as well. I thought for a long time I might want to be a concert pianist, and that kind of fell through, and I discovered that I'm a better singer than I am a pianist. And then Kansas State, I'm a legacy student, sort of. My grandparents came here. My grandfather graduated from the vet medicine program in the 50s. And so Kansas State has always been a huge thing for me, and their vocal music program was like hitting its stride right when I became a freshman. So I've got to experience like the golden age of Kansas State like vocal music, which is incredible. It's been a wonderful experience. So I've always known that I was going to come to K-State, but it's been way more of a blessing than I ever thought it would ever be.
Is that something that you think you're going to continue doing? Do you think composing is something that you're going to look into doing as well as a career?
Yeah, so I definitely feel like I could be a composer forever. That's one of those cool things, is that when I'm old and my voice doesn't work anymore, I can always continue to compose. So yeah, I think composing is always going to be a part of my career path, which is exciting for me because I feel like I have so many things yet that I have to learn, and that I'm just starting to figure things out. It's kind of a joke in the music profession as a composer that every composer has about a midlife crisis at about 36, because that's how old Mozart was when he died. And it's kind of like, what have you done in comparison to what Mozart did by the time he was 36? Bad comparison, but it's still one of those things that we think about. So yeah, it's definitely on my radar. This whole radio opportunity that I've had this semester is definitely something that's on my radar. Yeah, I do some research. It was kind of a means to an end for the album, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I definitely think that as a part of academia going forward, it's something I could be plugged into and enjoy.
Ich liebe dich, mich reizt deine schöne Gestalt.
Colby's full-length album, All American, is available across all music streaming platforms. Well, that's all we have this time for this installment of MHK All Day. We'll be back on December 3rd for more of The Scoop on The Little Apple.